All right, there we are. Welcome to another episode of Frags and Beer Radio News, our Tuesday evening show where we talk about this past week in Geek. And my video is running a little slow, so hopefully it's not showing bad on y'all's end. Yeah, it is running extremely slow.
Hello.
So we're joined by Russell Michaels, but no other guests. Hopefully everything catches up here. We're running into a little bit of technical lag, at least on my end anyway. So we're going to talk about...
Hope the news picks up. Man. There wasn't a lot this week.
Yeah, it was a pretty slow week, unfortunately, which and a sad week. We had some sad news yesterday, and we're going to talk about that definitely. But first, we're going to talk about some important news for gamers, and I'm getting some stuff closed out here, so hopefully we speed things up just a hair. Real quick, I want to talk about, there is a new, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with what is called ransomware, but basically it is like a Trojan or a virus malware that gets installed on your computer either through a bad email that you get or a bad link you stumble into. And it once this thing gets into your computer, it's programmed to go encrypt all of your important files. Depending on how insidious it is, it can encrypt all of your system files, like all the important files on your C drive, making your computer basically worthless. And then shortly thereafter, you're contacted by the people who created this damn thing, and they tell you they'll unencrypt your files so that you can get back into your computer for several $100s. A lot of these guys come out of Russia or Ukraine or Central Europe and Asia, Western Asia, and there's a new one out there that poses as a Windows update. So it looks like you're getting a new Windows update, and I'm reading this off of hothardware.com about this phantom ransomware that looks like a Windows update. So keep an eye on things, guys. Make sure you're not downloading anything.
Is it via email that it's hitting
This
people?
one I'm looking at, I'm trying to get the article to scroll down. I said everything's running a little slow on my computer today. Beautiful Chrome is not enjoying...
Oh, it's a pop-up.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It comes as a pop-up.
It's a pop-up that comes up, and it informs you that you have a Windows update. And once you install it, that's when you get nailed.
That's kind of stupid. First of all, a pop-up on your browser will never do
Right.
that. Microsoft will never tell you have an update through your browser.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah. That should be your first.
Right.
You're being screwed.
The thing is these guys aren't targeting like you and me, and they're not targeting your more savvy internet users or computer users. They're targeting, our grandparents and our parents. They're targeting young people who are just starting out. They're targeting people who don't have a lot of technical background, and that's really the huge problem that kind of pisses me off, because they're going after the people that don't know any better, and unfortunately we can't all be the best, most intelligent internet users, and these guys prey on those folks, and it's really kind of unfortunate. But if you're listening to the show, let your friends and family know. I know a lot of people listen to this show, or people that follow us on Twitter and whatnot are computer savvy and are technically inclined. But talk to your parents, talk to your grandparents, your kids. Make sure your kids aren't clicking on anything that happens to pop up while they're browsing the internet. And hopefully, we can prevent people from getting this, inform people out there. So yeah, kind of shit stuff going on. But then we're going to move into something that I think is funny. So we're gonna bounce the spectrum of awful and funny and sad stuff today. But I don't know if anybody noticed, but it was covered on bleedingcool.com that the new Iron Man. Most people know now that the new Iron Man, Tony Stark, is being replaced. He is retiring, and a child prodigy, I think a 15-year-old MIT student, is taking his place. Her name Riri Williams.
This will last for about 3 years before they bring him back.
Right? Yeah. We all know how Marvel works. You know, they're going to get your money until the issues plateau, and the hype dies off, and then they'll change it all back. But everybody wondered, what are they going to call it? Because right now it's going to be called Iron Man #1 until they change. At least I think it is. The cover looks like it is. But they've decided to name her Ironheart, which I don't know how. I don't know if the people at Marvel know how to Google. But it took the internet all of, I don't know, a few minutes to find out that Ironheart is a porn parody, a Japanese porn parody of Iron Man. So, like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Come on, guys.
That's a thing that happened.
Yeah,
that's a thing that happened.
Fucking get on Google for a minute. Go, I want to name a character something, and then type that name in. Like, you guys out there that are starting to write, you're starting to create characters. You're going to be an author, and you want to do something, or you want to title your book. Dude, get on Google. Type the title in, type the character name in, type something in. Just make sure that you aren't naming your book or your next young, minority comic book character isn't going to be named after a Japanese porn. Come on, guys. Be a little smarter than that. So...
The armor doesn't seem to be all that far off on it.
No, exactly. Like I said, it is literally an Iron Man parody. Like, it is meant to look like Iron Man, except she gets naked and has sex. Like, so.
Yes, as what happens in porn. I mean, it's like, we don't have to explain that to our audience.
Well, you don't know. We got a lot of people out there that might not know what a Japanese porn parody is, but I just for the.
But they know what porn. But they know what porn is.
You would think.
I don't think we.
You would think it would be obvious. It wasn't obvious to Marvel. So.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys.
At least they didn't call her Iron Man Gina.
Yeah. Oh God. You know,
that was the parody of Iron Man at one of the MTV movies.
Yeah, well, you know that's coming at some point.
Yeah. Rebel Wilson got an Iron Man suit, and it was called the Iron Man Gina.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see more stuff like that. So yeah, that's your humor hunk for the evening. So.
They got to make fun of it in like issue number 2.
Hopefully they realize and maybe own it. I don't know. Who knows?
They can make fun of the fact that it's also that. Like...
Yeah. Maybe she realizes the name she chose and she goes with it anyway and just owns it. I guess.
Oops, sorry about
I don't
that.
know.
Definitely.
So yeah, on to some this is really cool news for me. Hopefully you guys out there like it. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are going to be upset about it, irritated about this, but I think it's really cool because I'm not a huge console gamer. I'm a PC gamer. As most of you guys know, I've had consoles over the years, mostly Nintendo, but I did have a PS3, and I did buy Last of Us, and I couldn't play it I'm just not very good with a controller. I'm going to admit it right now. I'm not good with a controller for those types of games. Well, PlayStation...
What about the controller? What about the controller makes you not be able to play?
I'm not very good with the double sticks on a first-person shooter. Trying to control the aim with that. I'm much better with a keyboard and mouse. I just am not good with it. I used to play Perfect Dark and GoldenEye. Played the hell out of those. Was really good at those. But ever since after those games kind of went out and the newer shooters came into play, the control setup was a lot different than those games, and I just couldn't. I wasn't very good at it. I'll admit it right up front. Just not that good at it. So I loved what little bit I could play of Last of Us, but I couldn't play that much of it, unfortunately. So, good news is Sony has this game streaming service that's coming, or I think it's been out for a little while. All right, I think we're back up and ready to roll. Sorry about that, folks. My internet dropped for a few minutes. Such is the nature of a live show. So, we were talking, and I'm not sure what you all heard last, but we were talking about PlayStation's new streaming service and why I suck at console shooters, and the controller, how the controller is just no good, at least for me anyway. So, yeah. So I'm pretty happy to hear that this new streaming service is coming. Granted, it's going to cost. They've already had PlayStation Now out for a couple years, and it's allowed for $20 a month. You can play PlayStation 3 games on your PlayStation 4, I believe. But coming August 30th, actually, yeah. So today, you can get it for PC as well. 12-month subscription for $100, which I guess if you're thinking $20 a month, that's actually a pretty good deal. But it's going to work like Netflix, where you basically can stream any of the games they have on this service to your PC as much as you want. And play them there, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, I might consider getting a subscription just to, for a month or two, just to play Last of Us and finish that game up, because I never really got to. So I'm kind of excited about that. I think that'd be a great idea.
Did you ever play Resident Evil 4 in the GameCube?
No, I did not have that one.
Yeah, because that's what I always loved. Of the consoles with shooting in them, I would have to say that probably was one of the better shooting games. As a third-person shooter, obviously not a first.
Yeah.
Person. But it's very good. I have to say, I actually, when it comes to the Saints Row series, I enjoyed them more on the console than I did on computer. Because let me tell you, it is really difficult to do precision driving, because driving is a big part of the Saints Row series, and it's hard as crap to do precision driving with the keypad. I mean, with the arrow.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is.
That's why driving is so much easier on consoles.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Aiming is definitely easier, because mouse will just be easier, but you get used to it over a while. You just get used to it.
All right. Just sending out a message. We're still getting some issues on my side for speed. I don't know if you guys are seeing the stream or not. Hopefully you are, but I'm not seeing the stream. But we are recording, so if you're only hearing it or the stream's coming across bad, I will have this up.
Technical issues too. Electric boogaloo.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell? We have done so well without all of this garbage the last.
We had a technical issue. What was it? Our second or our third episode?
First and second episode. Yeah, it was rough. So.
Yeah. We had to call, because of how many problems we had. We called the episode technical.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was just.
This is our second showing of it.
So yeah. Anyway, so that's that, and then we don't, like I said, light show, not a huge show. So we're gonna jump right into. Actually, I want to, before we get into the aggravating part of the show, I do want to say that, we lost a giant talent, and then another talent that was sort of lost in the news of people who have passed. But Gene Wilder passed yesterday, 83, and
complications from Alzheimer's. He kept it away from her. He said, and I need to get the quote from it because it is really good. The reason why he didn't tell anybody why he had Alzheimer's. It's a really good quote about it I read today. It's actually on his Wikipedia page. Yes. Oh, did they already? They removed it. They already removed it from Wikipedia. Really?
I'm not surprised.
It was on Wikipedia this morning. I saw it this morning, and they've already. You can talk about it. I'm gonna see if I can find the quote. Why?
Yeah, that sucks. So, but yeah, in a sense, from what I understood, he didn't want kids, I guess, thinking that Willy Wonka was sick. Which that sounds like him. I mean, I grew up.
Okay, I found the quote.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Hey. The decision to wait until his time to disclose his condition wasn't vanity, but more so that the countless young children that would smile or call out to him, "There's Willy Wonka," would not have to be then exposed to an adult referencing illness or trouble and causing delight to travel to worry, disappointment, or confusion.
Yeah.
And this is the money quote. He simply couldn't bear the idea of one less smile in the world.
Yeah. And that, you know what, that sounds like him. He was such a talent and such a consistent talent, which you don't get a lot anymore. His generation of comedians were I mean, that to me is the last consistent generation of comedic film actors that we had, and out of all of them, he seemed like the one that was really like, you never heard anything bad about him. He was never in the news. They were never dragging skeletons out of his closet. No exposés about how awful he was or anything like that. He just seemed like a genuinely decent dude. And, all of his movie, I love everything he's done. So that sounds just like him. That's really, really cool to hear. And then, like I said, more obscure loss was, and let me look at, because I'm gonna botch his name, Eric Bowersfield. Wait a minute. He wasn't.
Died in April.
He wasn't the. Who was the one I saw that died yesterday too? That wasn't him. Well, shoot. I must have seen one of those goddamn fake newsprints or some shit. So yeah, I mean, we lost him back in April, and that's sad too. But I thought he was my bad, folks. It was Gene Wilder, and yeah. Movies, thankfully we have a large library of his work to remember him by and to smile at and to laugh at and to enjoy. So